We are in a campground outside of Ginny Springs. We're trying to, well, I am trying to remember exactly how it is that you cave dive. I don't think they can deny that I'm a cave diver.
Go into the devil's eye, go through the lips, go up the hill 400 line.
I don't think I'm going to be scuba diving today because I just don't have my paperwork. And unfortunately, I'm a little ill-prepared on the dive light situation. As I was planning on coming here, I didn't really know what to expect because the last time we didn't really have a whole lot of knowledge. You know, some of the things we were doing were kind of on the outside of what we should be doing in these caves. We hooked up with a local pro around here, Scott Byers, and he really he dialed us in, tuned us up, went through a technical cave diving course.
So then you did your secondary tie-off, dropped your O2 bottle, all that looked good, went in, and then we got to the primary, and then you were having problems with like slack in the reel.
I ended up coming up here with a truckload of brand new stuff. So usually when you do this kind of tech stuff or anything, anything dangerous, you want to put one little piece of the puzzle together at a time. I had a lot of nerves, a lot of things were going through my head. Are these fins too big? Are they too heavy? Are they going to make my feet sink? Is this new buoyancy compensating device on my back, is that going to fit me? Is everything going to clip in right? You know, those are a couple big things that are happening, and then all of a sudden I'm told, hey man, why don't you throw this dry suit on because you're going to freeze out there. You know, so all of a sudden now I got fins, dry suit, I have all these new complications. It was a pretty scary moment, and you know, I took it as slowly as I could. I trusted in the gear, and you know, I trusted in myself.
So that's excellent awareness, only like, you know, with all the task loading and new gear and everything you've got, so you had good awareness.
Cool. Now all of a sudden here comes day two, and now it's my time where not only do I have all this stuff, 2 bottles, but now we're going to double it and put 4 bottles on, and then carry a 5th bottle for oxygen for when we return. We have a van that's full of tanks, and it's only for 1 dive. You know, you're sitting there looking at 2,000 pounds of stuff that you're going to be pushing through these caves. Dive plan, when you have these stages, is you bring them in the cave, and you breathe them till you're thirds, so you know you have enough to get back out of the cave, and then you drop them off. And then you continue down the cave, and then you drop another bottle off. Then you continue down the cave, breathing off your other 2 bottles until you get to a spot where you got to turn around because you're getting low on the air. And you got to come back and you got to pick those same bottles you just dropped off up again, clip them back in, and then make your way out of the cave. At one point, I actually, through the stress of doing all that, I lost the line, and I ended up going down a second chute that wasn't where I was even supposed to go. It really awakened me a little to say, you know, just the tiniest little thing that you do differently can really just set you off in another direction that you really weren't planning on going. So yeah, everything after I was signaled, I hit myself. I was like, oh my God, how did you make, you know, that's in cave diving, that's the one mistake you can't make, is go down the wrong line. And the first day after I was let out on my own, you know, it's just Dingo and I out there by ourselves. So I was like, oh man, are we up to challenges? This is some big stuff we had planned to go down the same line that we went, go through this restriction and actually go further than we had gone. But as soon as we got in the water, everything got different. Everything changed. I felt comfortable and confident, and we started kicking it. We went in, and is a different story. The first time I went through there, it was tight and it was scary, and the top and the bottom, you're banging your tanks as you're going through there. So the first time through there wasn't too comfortable, and now kind of knowing what to expect on it, it made the whole situation a lot more comfortable. You know, it looks like a ballroom. You're in all this tight stuff, and you're squeezing yourself through all these little cracks and crevices for an hour. You get to this spot and it just opens up in this big giant ballroom. It was pretty cool. And going into that cave, we just said, hey, let's stick with what we know. We've done this thing with the instructor. you know, second round's gonna be a breeze. So that's what we did. Over to Orange Grove. So we got through there. It was dark and spooky and eerie, and you know, we ended up going the wrong way until Dave grabbed my slate and rode on there. Today we're in Little River Spring. It's a little bit north of Brantford, Florida. It's supposed to be deeper than any of the caves we've dove so far on this trip. I think it goes down to about 110 to 120 feet. It's pretty interesting. I guess as soon as you get into the cave system, it goes into this spiral, kind of a corkscrew that goes down for 60 feet to the depths. Can't wait to get in the water. It's actually warmer in there than it is out here. There was definitely a lot of flow. That was probably the strongest flow cave that we dove so far, period. Since I got in there, just tunnels and it felt like you were riding some crazy log flume ride or something because the current was so strong. It was pretty cool. The T intersections were, you know, I was worried about them at first before we went in there, but they're so clearly marked, and you know, there were so many marks on those lines that really it was pretty straightforward.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I don't know. Is the chamber open on Thanksgiving?